Bennett.
Just kicking ass
How about this? He did it. Listen to this. In elementary school, he was a safety patrol officer helping younger kids cross D.C. streets. Wow, you got in fisticuffs when you were in 5th grade? Oh, wow, Roger. Wow, no wonder you're the best commissioner ever. Imagine that you're helping kids cross the street. First of all, is there a nerdier thing in the world to be? David, hello.
Hey, guys, hey.
Hey.
Yeah, they left on a couple parts there, too, about the part where he beat up the gooch for making fun of his sister with the lift.
That's right.
And I was,
Buddy Hinton.
Yeah, and him and his family, they wanted to buy their parents a good anniversary gift, so they joined the band.
Yeah, well, they had the silver platter is what they wanted to get. Seth, go ahead.
The problem was he actually had some help. I believe Doc Holliday was there, and he said, Johnny Ringo, it looked like somebody done walk over your grave. I'm going to bury it.
It was nice until it was no longer time to be nice. When will that be? I'll tell you.
Goodell, quick on the draw with his black hat, the Jen of the Bar patron. I can't believe, and you know what? People are going to read this and go like, "It's just wow! What? Look at all he's overcome." Imagine that coming from a political family from Westchester, New York, and making something of yourself. That is just unbelievable. It's almost hard to fathom.
It was amazing. After the fight, he said,
"I can change, and you can change. Everybody can change. Каждый может измениться."
My fellow student, you've been saved.
And he's high-fiving people. No. He jumped in the air and it freeze-framed. And people just stared at him as he hung like into the sky, and a bunch of words started scrolling across his face.
And then they said, Roger, let us buy you a drink, man. You saved the day. That's okay, fellas. I'm sticking to the tonic water. Roger doesn't drink.
I lift things up and put them down.
Rear Admiral, the hockey writer for BarstoolSports.com. Hello, sir.
What's up, gentlemen? How we doing?
What's up, man?
Hey, I don't know if you got Peter King's Twitter tease about the story, but he wrote that Peter, what's his name, Goodell stared Mick Jagger down. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I'm a big Stones fan. So I read the story, and basically it turns out he did what the General did to Forrest Gump on the Washington Mall. He basically turned the volume down on him during the dirty part of the song. And, like, that's all I got to say about Mick Jagger.
Yeah. As Peter turned into Stevie from Eastbound and Down. That's right. He's Steve Jankowski.
He was a crossing sign person.
I don't know. I don't know why that speaks of his toughness, quite frankly. I mean, when I was in 5th grade, I was like the tallest kid in class. I dominated the basketball. What does that speak of me?
For $1.
And then everyone caught up to me. In 5th grade, he was quite the ruffian, helping kids cross the D.C. streets. Because his father, just for fun, like with all the other senators, they lived in housing projects in D.C. So there you go. I'm glad everyone agrees with me and doesn't believe that story.
Not for 1 second.
And my advice to you is, if you are in a confrontation with someone and they pull out a gun, is to not handle it the way that Goodell said you should handle it.
You mean don't walk them outside gently and talk them down?
No, grab the gun. I don't know what you do, but you certainly, the story doesn't make...
the nearest bulletproof object, maybe?
I mean, you got to bounce the guy, but...
Stick a finger right into the end of the gun.
That's right. He did that,
say to him that way.
Time to be.
He actually dressed as a woman rabbit, and the guy's eyeballs popped out of his head. All right, we'll take your phone call, 617-779-0985, 617-779-0985. Rapid fire fashion, we take your calls.
So now you listen to the show. Did it rule or did it blow? No one will know that you were on, 'cause a double typed your name in wrong.
98.5 The Sports Hub. We're Toucher and Rich, 21 degrees at 9:44 in Boston. You listen now. Discuss is brought to you by Cumberland Farms, Farmhouse Blend Coffee, 99 cents any size. Official partner of the Boston Celtics. We're reading the first story from the Goodell story that Peter King did, and it's, if you're just joining us, Goodell is a bartender a senior at Washington and Jefferson College. Someone makes a good point of why is he a bartender at college when his father's a senator, and they're very, very wealthy. But I guess that was just Roger's way.
Mm-hmm. He wanted to be, simple. He wanted to earn his own way.
Right, and he had to pay a part of that $40,000 a year now that it costs to go there. Bartending money covered the expenses. So this African-American gentleman comes into the bar. He sits down and orders a drink. A white townie doesn't like the looks of him, tells him to scram. Roger Goodell comes out from behind the bar. The man shows a gun. Roger threatens to shoot him and the African-American gentleman. Roger Goodell walks him out into the night, and the man is never heard from again. The owner was not there, but nonetheless...
witnesses were not there.
No, but...
anyone to corroborate his story, no one was there.
But there were lots of people with the story that Roger Goodell shares when he was a safety officer in 5th grade in Washington, D.C., while his father was a member of the House of Representatives. He saw someone picking on his young brother for being a ballerina, and he gave him the what-have-you, knuckle sandwich.
Now, is there any way to corroborate the story that he got wedgies every Friday for being a crossing guard?
I don't know, but 69985, I heard that in high school, Roger ended up skipping a class at the observatory and ended up getting in a knife fight.
Oh, really?
Right, he was a rebel without a cause. Part of Nike's contract with the new NFL uniforms is to make a dry-fit spandex superhero suit for Goodell.
Someone did he mention the time he was shooting hoops and guys started making trouble? Then his mom got scared and made him move with his aunt and uncle into Bel Air.
That's the last straw. You're moving to Bel Air, sir. I remember when Roger came back from Nam and this cop gave him a hard time, so he had to escape into the wilderness and teach them all a lesson.
They're right about the time that the robot from the future came back to assassinate him.
Yeah. At what point did he invent penicillin? There you go. Everyone loves a good lie. Daniel, hello.
Hi, guys. I was in a karate tournament a couple of years ago, and I took a really bad hit to the knee, and Roger Goodell put his hands together and fixed me, and I finally was able to find peace with Allie. And I said, you will not put me in a body bag.
That's right, you did. You overcame it. Roger Goodell really is like, he catches like 5 flies at a time when he has chopsticks.
He took that guy and squish, just like grape.
Scott, hello.
Hi, I just did some research with regards to Goodell doing the crosswalk thing.
Yeah.
And I found out that a quote was there, and I guess they missed the quote in the story. Apparently, he said, I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Oh, really? This bullet's got your email address on it. Don't make me hit send. Assy McGee, the great Assy McGee.
That's right. At one point, the guy said, I'm going to blow up this entire bar. And he said, go ahead. I don't drink here.
Did Roger say the Jeff Healey band was playing Angel Eyes that night? And he called Sam Elliott to help him?
He did.
I'll blow this whole place up.
Go ahead. I don't shop here.
I don't know what Starship has to do with that.
I don't know, but it's always... All right, Ken, did you grew up around the Washington and Jefferson College?
Yeah. So I grew up in Washington, Pennsylvania, and I've been to the Landmark. I've been in a whole lot rougher bars.
Well, listen, it's right by a very expensive elite liberal arts school, so I would imagine it's very tough.
Yes. It's a very and back in the day, I've got a few years. I probably have a few years on Goodell, but it was still elite, expensive, pre-law. It was not a rough.
There's no one more elite than Goodell. There's no way in America, short of being the son of a president, which I think hampers you to get a position like the NFL commissioner. There's no more advantageous position you could have than having a senator father and to get a position like this. There's just not. Yeah. And that's fine. Listen, I would like to make as much money as possible and give my kids every advantage. That doesn't make them make it any less of anything. But let's not pretend that you're this like swashbuckling ass kicker that had to overcome all this stuff. Let's not pretend. You know, I didn't grow up in the ghetto. My parents paid for my college. Doesn't make, any achievement I make any less. Mm-hmm. But I don't sit around pretending that I, saved the day several times.
Yeah, wherever there is racial injustice.
I know. That's the thing. I'll step in.
He had to sit all the way in the corner because he felt like he was left out by the rest of society.
Right. The kid just comes into the bar by himself. I'll have a beer. Wait a second. I've been spending my time at this bar as long as it's been a prestigious Ivy League type school. I'm done plowing for the night. Fellas, where do you want to go? I don't know. Let's get some Boilermakers out at the school where all the rich kids hang out. Let's do it. Bring your gun. You never know when you might run into a senator's son.
It's like a showdown. The tumbleweed flows by.
I can't believe Peter King even put that in. He must be kind of dumb.
How do you just not, while he's telling you that story, just look at him and go,
really? And where's your girlfriend in Niagara Falls at that point? You're just making up a bunch of crap. Let me share you the time where I was a safety patrol kid. In 5th grade, I'll tell you what, I had to step in and put my dukes up more than once, Peter. Let me tell you, I might have had money growing up, but I wasn't afraid to throw my fists.
Somebody said, remember the time Goodell carried that effing ring all the way into Mordor?
Mm-hmm. Well, do you remember the time I saved the day by pulling the sword out of the stone? Yes.
What about the time Roger... I once heard Roger just shoveled his fat old neighbor's driveway so his wife wouldn't have to.
No, that's not my neighbor. Ay. I'll tell you what. It's funny. If you ever were going to buy Sports Illustrated, buy it today. It's a pain in the ass to read online.
Goodell doesn't get wet. The water gets Goodelled.
Yeah, it's Chuck Norris.
I remember the time Roger Goodell was the only person to be super close to a MiG-28. That's a Top Gun reference, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, there is a picture.
It was inverted.
I'm not kidding. First of all, you have to know Washington, Pennsylvania, this is the mid-'70s. It's the height of everything. But I will tell you this, is that there is a picture of him in jeans with no shirt. And I don't know what he's doing.
Well, he's hanging out with Goose. He's playing with the boys.
I like this, too. He was going to play at Washington and Jefferson football, but he hurt his knee training ultra hard right before the season started.
So is Roger so badass around the schoolyard he would play, instead of hopscotch, he'd play with real scotch.
That's right. I like, too, that he I didn't feel like studying in high school. I took an IQ test, and I was brilliant. But I didn't feel like studying. But here I am at this elite school. I wonder how that happened. Oh, yeah, my father's a senator. And he wrote a note saying, hey, let my son in.